Well, hello, friends and neighbors. Welcome to my kitchen table. It is Canadian Thanksgiving, and I have an extra day in the weekend, and I thought I want to do something special. And I think blind tastings are right up there with some of the most unique things you can do on your whiskey journey. So in my area, I found this taster pack of Johnnie Walker. There's 5 of them, and just before she left on a shopping trip, I had my daughter pour each of them out in a way that I don't know. So when we come back, this will be my, I'm going to nose, I'm going to taste, and I'm going to describe the whiskey. I guess I might try to identify at the end, but I will say this is more about the exploration. It's more about, you should grab something and pour along, sip along, because it's really just going to be an exploration and a conversation about these 5 blended scotches. 3, 4. Yeah, so as I said in the intro, this is going to be a blind taste test. And I really don't believe I'm going to identify correctly these 5. And I want you to know right from the beginning, it's really not that. It's going to be, hey, this is what I'm tasting, right? Because we often see these bottles. Johnnie Walker, of course, arguably the most famous producer of Scotch in the world. One of Diageo's flagship, and I think I read somewhere that they actually sell more blended Scotch than any of the single malts you can imagine. So, a lot of prominence behind this. I don't know what I'm tasting. All I have on these Glencairns, if you're wondering, there's ladybugs or something she put on there. So they're all different colors. Maybe I should turn them around so you can see them. I don't know. Kind of looks a little weird having ladybugs on Glencairns, but okay, I can live with that. Let's get at the whiskey. Enough introduction. So just nosing through. This one comes up sweet, a little bit of peaches. Yeah, a little bit of malt character, which is nice, but generally sweet. So green. A little more relaxed nose. Yeah, not as expressive. Still less sweet, so maybe moving more to an apricot. Then we'll go yellow. This one adds a little bit of spicing, a little bit of gentle smoke, light peat, honey. Go to red. This one's has stood out the most different so far. Almost a little bit nut in there, but really relaxed. Wow, that one's playing hard to get. And finally blue. Actually kind of similar to red. Lots going on. A real gentle orchard fruit. Light cocoa. This one was the most peat or smoke. These two quite sweet. And these two playing hard to get on the nose. Very pleasant. Perhaps a little more complicated. By that I mean like there's lots of little things that I can't just hang my thoughts on right away. Yeah, now this has come up a little more orchard fruit than originally. And this one smells like a nice lighter islet. Not a smoke bomb, but definitely some peat in that. A little bit of almost a caramel came up in that one. Back to purple. Nice, strong, but fairly sweet. Sweet nose. Ha! Wild. I might surprise you with this ranking. I'm going to say that purple is my favorite nose. And then I'm going to go, this is why I meant surprise. I'm going to go all the way to blue. I have no idea, except that I'm drawn to trying to figure it out. It is really hiding. And yet, you know, there's a little light. Anyways, so I'm going to go 1, 2. Three, because it's got a light smoke. And then I'm going to go heavy smoke. And the last is this green one, which on another day, it's got the strongest, clearest apple for me. And sometimes I really like Fresh Cut Orchard, might rank much higher. But today, it's the least interesting nose, the most generic Speyside, which is nothing wrong with Speyside, but just sort of the way it goes. Okay, that's nosing. Now we'll see how things shift as I finally get to taste some Scotch today. Starting with purple. You know, palate kept the fruiting, but actually really added some spice. Okay, that surprised me a lot. Quite a bit of spicing came out on the palate there, and I would have to say somehow a little bit of peated blend in there. All right, this one, lots of apple. Picking up a little bit of oak on that one. Yeah. Cinnamon. So actually more descriptive spices than a little bit of the peat that kind of came up in the purple. Yellow. Yeah, okay, the palate echoes the nose on that one. A little bit of sourness. A little bit of sourness, a little bit of saltiness. More peat. Definite, or smoke. I could go smoke. All right, coming to red. Interesting. Red is now, and I'm really hoping it's not because I'm chasing that peat, because now I'm also getting a little bit of sourness, a little bit of brininess. It's a little bit drying. Okay, let's see if I can figure out this blue. Well, all I can say is nicely coating. A little bit of caramel. Wisp of that cocoa or light nut. Just light. A little bit of oak. Did I say that? Continues to be the roundest here, the smoothest, if I may, and eluding me a little bit. All right, I hope you got something to sip while I speed through another quick tasting of these. Let's rank and reveal. Okay, so overall, this is my favorite sipping Scotch of the day. I have to say it is probably the most complicated for my palate, both nose and palate. It has really nice, gentle cocoa nut. I also found fruit, but they were always light. So, pear instead of cut green apple, and honeys and caramels. I actually liked that the most. Very curious to see what it is. Overall, now that I've been through it, and what a leap from the nose, I'm actually going to rank green second. I guess I should put these in order then, with one over there. Okay, so this is my second pick, and what a leap from the nose. Now I will say the nose was never off or bitter, and it's got just some nice fruits, but it just didn't draw me in. It didn't, like if you were just like, okay, which Scotch do you want? I'm like, I sure have a lot of bottles that smell like that. So it didn't pull me in, but the palate had a really nice balance of oak and cinnamon for me, and I like that. This is a tough call now with these remainders, because if I was feeling like peat or smoke, I would immediately go to these, because clearly they have the most of it, and I often am in that mood. Shocking how much bitterness came out of these guys. So I don't have to, but I would like to put purple as my third overall pick. And I love the nose. The nose just was fresh and bright and full of stone fruit. So like peach, apricot, juicy, almost thick sweetness. Now the palate disappointed me a little bit, especially with such a strong nose. And so overall, I've actually dropped it down to third. These two are really tough. I'm going to put red as my fourth. It does add nice smoke in the nose and the palate. What did I have? I have some brine, oak, and then I have bitter circled. But it's a nice balance, and I think it would bring you some of those campfire notes without putting you off. Today, sadly, yellow came up at the end, and honestly, the nose I liked. I don't know what I put it as for my nose. Oh, pretty low down, but it's got a nice smoked nose, and I'm often drawn to that. But I will say, after the palate and the level of bitterness, whatever this is, I will most likely pick an Islay single malt instead of whatever this is, to avoid some of that bitterness came up for me. Okay, let's reveal. It's my ranking 1 to 5. None of them were bad, and I'm being pretty hard on the end. Let's see what they are. I'm super curious. Because do I have to spend lots of money? Is this going to be blue, or is this going to be, something far more affordable like double black? Well, probably not double black. Hopefully my palate isn't that far off. So this says Papa's List, as my daughter, who's 16, she's not tiny. It's okay that she poured this. She didn't have any while she poured it. But hopefully I'm not corrupting the young people in my home. Okay, let's see. Blue. No way. Complete shocker. No, legit shocked at this reveal. This blue, which I did not talk, smoke, brine, nothing, is the most affordable you can get. And the one that I thought I had the most of, and yet I struggled to identify it. Wild. All right. Oh, pink. I'm going to say that's my red. Pink is Gold Label. So that's here. All right. So Gold Label, put down in fourth. Green, my second. Johnnie Walker 18. Where did I? Oh, sorry. I put that in wrong. Johnnie Walker 18. Gold Label. They looked similar down here. So number one, I can't express to you how shocked I am that that is black. I'll tell you right now, I really thought black was my slightly briny, slightly smoky, wild. Okay. And yellow is my double black. Okay, at least, honestly, that's what I thought after all that peat and brine and whatever. So that's interesting. And purple is Blue Label. Okay, so, okay. Now, this is a surprising result. And one of the reasons why We should all do blind tastings. Early on in the smoke and brine, I think I did understand this was my double black. And I'm glad, like wherever it ranked, I'm glad in my mind that I was right. Really surprised that gold came up as my next smokiest and most peat. I really didn't expect that. That's what I'm getting. A little bit of sourness, a little bit of black olive. Interesting. This is the runaway surprise for me. I actually thought this was my black label. I really didn't know what was going on up here. I thought, maybe one of these would be the 18, one of them would be the blue. I really don't know them well enough. But I thought this cloying, interesting, complicated, balanced, rounded Scotch. There's no way I would have said this was black label. Like legit. I would have said, if you would have put money down, I would have said, it's the 18. It's the blue label. So surprised. Even knowing that, I like it. I honestly like that Scotch. Wild. Well, I hope I've been able to edit this so that it's a decent watch. It's taken me far more time than I would want to share with you live, absolutely. But I can live with these results. I stand completely shocked that this was my number one. Shocked. But the rest of the rankings actually don't surprise me, right? That the 18 is up here as my number 2. The blue label is somewhere in the middle. That's fine. Clearly, I don't have a good enough palate to realize that's the most expensive Scotch. I haven't ever had gold label, so that's fine. And double black, I think I recognize it right away. So, I don't know. I'm okay, but wow, I better buy another bottle of black label. You guys, thanks so much for joining me here at my table. I know, of course, it's not American Thanksgiving. That's coming up. But for all of my Canadians out there, happy Thanksgiving. I hope this weekend you find time to reflect on the many gifts that we have as Canadians, and all of us extending to anyone who's managed to tune in. I know there's hardship out there, and I don't want to belittle the people that are living through some physical health challenges and also social emotional. I think all of us are really struggling with the anxiety of what it means to be living in the middle of a pandemic. But I hope this weekend you look seriously at the gifts that we have, that you find a connection with a friend, the chance to spend a moment with a good dram, and all of these are fine, really good, not just fine. These are good Scotches. I'd happily drink any one of these with you, and just be thankful for the gifts that we have. Let's look for those and share that spirit of thankfulness with the people that are close to us to try to lift spirits. We need more of that. Thanks for tuning in. I hope I didn't disappoint you guys. Have a great weekend.